Hello, Dr. Chris Grier here, and we get to dig in right now to how you can get the best night's sleep possible. We're in the midst of this series that we're doing on the fundamentals of health, and I want to make sure that sleep is something that you get completely dialed in because there is no more important fundamental out there. Again, as a review, our fundamentals are sleep, move, eat, focus, and breathe. We're digging into sleep as how it allows you to thrive. Because here's the thrive formula again. Again, got to have that healthy functioning nervous system to control and regulate all the functions of the body. Then we need to give our body everything it needs. Then we need to limit or eliminate all the things it doesn't need. And we need to do that over time so that we get to thriving. Again, everything the body needs. Does it need sleep? Absolutely. It needs sleep as much as it needs any other fundamental. So let's dig in to the sleep fundamental and how to get the best night's sleep. So there are some very simple things that I encourage everybody to add to their life so that sleep is the best it can possibly be. And one of those things is having an AM and a PM bookend. What do I mean by that? Well, imagine your entire day as a bookshelf, okay? And at one end and the other are the bookends, right? That's the AM and that's the PM. Now, those are the times of day where you can have the most control over your life and what you do. All the stuff in the middle, if you're anything like most American, all that stuff in the middle can go any which way. There can be distractions and roadblocks and, you know, going one way or going the other way. Anything can happen in the middle. But the AM and the PM, this is where you get to be in control of your day and your night, your morning and your evening. And that's really, really important. In the AM bookend, this is a time where we're going to need to really dial in to breathing and focusing. Those are two other fundamentals that we're going to talk about in other videos in this series. But know that in the morning, take some time, get yourself focused, understand what your intention for the day is, and that's going to help everything do better. And it's going to lead to a better night's sleep, especially when you add the PM bookend to that. The evening bookend, this is where you're basically queuing yourself up for a good night of sleep, identifying that you're done with the day, which we'll talk about in a second, and then moving yourself very systematically towards a consistent bedtime. Now that's key, having a consistent bedtime. So all of us think about having an alarm for when we wake up. Really, the most optimal thing is to have an alarm for when we go to bed and not missing that alarm. Now we get to shut down complete. This is really important because one of the things that consistently interferes with people's sleep is the monkey mind. The stuff that's bouncing around in our mind about what happened during the day, what's going to happen tomorrow, this person, that I had a conversation with, or whatever it is, our minds just keep racing and they keep ruminating about stuff that's unfinished. So there are two things that the brain needs to know before it can stop thinking about them. It needs to either know that the problem is solved, or it needs to know when you're going to get back to solving that problem. Otherwise, it will keep working on the problem. So, shut down complete gives us the opportunity at the end of the day to literally put everything aside, tidy up the desk or the workspace or the kitchen or whatever it is that is your kind of workspace for the day. Make a list of the things that are still in process, whether it's conversations that you need to have or actual projects that you're working on, whatever it is. Make a list of the things that are bouncing around up there, and then identify to your brain, okay, these things are done for today, and I will work on them tomorrow. Or identify when you're going to work on them specifically. That's fine, but these things are done for the day, and I'm going to work on them tomorrow. Shut down complete. That's the shut down complete cycle. Try it in your life. I would expect things to get quite a bit better for your sleep if the racing mind is part of the reason why you're not sleeping very well. And then add to that digital sunset. Super important. The screens that we utilize day in and day out, whether it's our computer screens or our phone screens, our tablets, our e-readers, whatever it might be, These things emit light that prevents our natural melatonin cycle. And melatonin is the hormone that stimulates sleep. Now, it can actually, reading on a tablet can delay our melatonin release by 3 hours, the research shows. So we have to have digital sunset. And what that is you choose a time that's 90 minutes or earlier, 90 minutes or before, uh, 90 minutes or longer before you're going to go to bed. And that's your digital sunset. Your phone gets put on a charger, it gets set somewhere that's not right next to your bed. You just shut down the TVs, you're not doing tablet work, you're engaging with family or friends or reading a book or whatever it is that you want to do, but it's shut down complete. No more, I'm sorry, it's digital sunset, no more digital stimulation within 90 minutes of bed. Those are the 3 habits that I most encourage people to install. And these habits are going to be absolutely key for getting a great night's sleep. So there you have it. Those are things that you can do tonight and today to start working on improving your sleep, which is one of the key fundamental health habits that we have. I'm Dr. Chris Grier. Enjoy that night of sleep.